2023. A New York lawyer files a brief in federal court citing 6 landmark cases. The judge cannot find any of them because they do not exist. The lawyer had asked ChatGPT for citations, ChatGPT invented them, and the lawyer had passed them straight into a legal filing. Sanctions followed. The case is Mata v. Avianca, and it is the cleanest, most public illustration of what the field calls hallucination. Welcome back to Lecture 10. Today, the hallucination problem. Not the bias problem, not the alignment problem. The specific technical failure where an LLM produces fluent, confident text that is factually wrong. We will define it, measure it, look at retrieval as a mitigation, and be honest about why we cannot fully solve it. 4 was about bias, systematic unfairness that comes from unfair data. Today's problem is different. Hallucination is not about who the model treats badly. It is about the model treating reality badly. It confidently states things that never happened. And unlike a bias, which is often subtle, a hallucination is often shockingly specific. A made-up citation, a fake historical event, a false quotation attributed to a real person. Today's puzzle, LLMs, are trained to predict the next token that is most probable given the context. They are not trained to say true things. They are trained to say plausible things. Most of the time, plausible and true match. But when they diverge, the model still ships plausible, because that is the loss it was optimized against. Hallucination is not a bug. It is a direct consequence of the training objective. Today's 3 beats. First, definition. Intrinsic versus extrinsic hallucination. What G 2023 called the taxonomy that finally gave the field a shared vocabulary. Second, measurement. How do you even count hallucinations? Automatic, human, and self-consistency approaches, and why they all disagree. Third, retrieval-augmented generation as a mitigation. Why it helps a lot, why it does not cure the underlying disease, and what actually keeps humans safe. Beat 1. Definition. In 2023, G and co-authors published the first big survey of hallucination in natural language generation. They pinned down 2 clean categories. Intrinsic hallucination. The output contradicts the source material you gave the model. If the model is summarizing a paragraph and adds a claim that contradicts the paragraph, that is intrinsic. Extrinsic hallucination. The output goes beyond the source and adds information that is either unverifiable or flat wrong. Different failure. Different fix. Why does it happen? 3 reinforcing reasons. 1. The training objective is plausibility. 2. The training data itself contains falsehoods, so the model has learned that some confident-sounding claims are safe to make. 3. Decoding strategies like sampling with temperature actively prefer novel tokens. Set temperature to 0 and you get more determinism, but the model still cannot check itself against the world. It has no world to check against. It has only text. One more subtlety. There is a class of prompts that basically invite hallucination. Ask for citations by author, year, journal. The model has learned the pattern of what a citation looks like, so it fills the slots convincingly. Ask for statistics about a person or event you just invented. The model will fill those slots too, because the training data is dense with strings that look like citations and statistics. Fluent formatting is a giant hallucination trap. Beat 2. Measurement. How do you count hallucinations at scale? The gold standard is human annotation. An expert reads the output and every source claim and marks each generated sentence as supported, contradicted, or unverifiable. Slow and expensive, but reliable. The automatic alternatives, natural language inference models applied to output versus source, entity-level fact-checkers against a knowledge base. Self-consistency checks. Each measures a different flavor. Nothing gives you a single clean number. The self-consistency idea is worth pausing on. Manakul and co-authors in 2023 shipped SelfCheckGPT. Ask the model the same question 5 times with sampling on. If the answers agree, the model is probably grounded. If the answers disagree, 5 different birthdays, 5 different citations, the model is probably making things up. Clever, cheap, does not need a knowledge base, and it captures one of the most reliable signals we have that the model is guessing. The numbers are sobering. Published rates for state-of-the-art LLMs on Open Domain QA sit in the 10 to 30% hallucination range on tasks where the model is not sure. Obscure people, technical citations, recent events, the rate climbs, and the confidence with which the model presents the wrong answer is essentially identical to the confidence with which it presents the right one. That is what makes hallucination genuinely dangerous. There is no self-signaled uncertainty for a non-expert user to pick up on. Beat 3. Mitigation. Retrieval-Augmented Generation. We covered this in Lecture 9. Before you ask the LLM to answer a question, you first search a trusted document store, pull the top K relevant chunks, and feed them into the prompt. Now, the LLM is not free associating from parametric memory. It is summarizing text you actually handed it. Hallucination rates drop sharply, sometimes by half or more. On specific factual tasks with a good corpus, it is close to the field's best available fix. But retrieval does not cure hallucination. It shifts the failure surface. The LLM can now hallucinate what a retrieved doc actually says. It can pick a doc that looks relevant, but is not. It can synthesize claims that no single doc supports. It can still make up citations that were not in the corpus. Every carefully run study of RAG shows meaningful drops in hallucination and non-zero residual hallucination. There is no free lunch, only a better lunch. So, what actually keeps a human user safe? 3 things. Force the model to cite sources with URLs. Show the retrieved passages inline so the user can verify. Train the model, or scaffold it, to say, "I do not know" when the retrieved evidence is thin. That third one is the hardest, because LLMs are not naturally calibrated to admit ignorance. Practically, hallucination cannot be fully solved. It can be dramatically mitigated. And the honest UX is one that helps the user verify, not one that hides the uncertainty. 3 takeaways before the quiz. 1. Hallucination has 2 flavors. Intrinsic contradicts the source. Extrinsic invents beyond it. It happens because the training objective is plausibility, not truth. G 2023 gave us the taxonomy. 2. You cannot easily measure hallucination. Human annotation is gold. NLI and knowledge-based checkers are partial. Self-consistency, as in SelfCheckGPT 2023, is a cheap trick that captures a real signal. 3. Retrieval-Augmented Generation shifts the failure surface and cuts rates, but does not cure. Real UX safety is citations, inline passages, and a model that says, "I do not know." Quiz 1. In the G 2023 taxonomy, what distinguishes intrinsic from extrinsic hallucination? A. Intrinsic is intentional, and extrinsic is accidental. B. Intrinsic contradicts the source material the model was given. Extrinsic adds unverifiable information beyond the source. C. Intrinsic is about images, and extrinsic is about text. Or D. They are the same thing. B. The source panel from 3A.1 says the stock rose 4%. Intrinsic hallucination flips it to fell 4%. Extrinsic hallucination adds its third record close this month from nowhere. Different failure, different fix, same category name, hallucination. Quiz 2. What is the key trick behind Manakul 2023 SelfCheckGPT? A fine-tune on a knowledge base. B. Sample the same prompt many times with sampling on. If the answers agree, the model is likely grounded. If they diverge, it is likely hallucinating. C. Use a bigger transformer. Or D. Ask the model whether it is confident and trust the answer. B. The 5 birthdays trick from 3B2. If the answer is stable across samples, the model is locked onto a genuine memory. If the answer drifts across samples, it is filling slots with plausibility. Cheap, no knowledge base required, and it captures a real signal. Quiz 3. What is the honest verdict on RAG as a hallucination fix? A. It eliminates hallucination completely. B. It typically cuts hallucination rates meaningfully, but shifts the failure surface. The model can still misread docs, pick wrong docs, or synthesize beyond them. C. It makes hallucination worse. Or D. It has no effect on hallucination. B. Better lunch, not free lunch. Feeding the model retrieved documents grounds most claims in a real corpus, but 3 new failure modes appear. misreading the doc, picking the wrong doc, synthesizing beyond it. Real safety comes from citations, inline passages, and hedging. Back to the puzzle. Hallucination is a direct consequence of what the model was trained to do. It optimizes plausibility. Truth is a downstream inference the training loop cannot see. Retrieval, calibration, and honest UX push the failure rate down. They do not eliminate it. Next video, evaluation. If we cannot easily measure truth, how do we measure anything? Next time, evaluation. How we know if a model is good. BLU as a cautionary tale. Rauge, BERT score, MMLU, human evaluation, and the leaderboard trap that has burned the field twice. Hit subscribe.